All right, Oregon made a little history in becoming Big Ten champs.
Go on.
Now, how significant is it that they win in the first year of being in the conference?
I would say that probably doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Although 2 former Pac-10 teams
Except for
just
this
did.
year. Except for this year, most, other places and stuff. But
Hey, Pac-12, big come up for the Pac-12. A lot of respect putting on the Pac-12's name.
And SMU.
And the AAC with SMU, yeah. But when Oregon goes 13-0 in their first year in the Big Ten, undefeated 10-0 in conference play. I saw this during the pregame. They popped up that the only teams to go unbeaten in their first year in the Big Ten, 1993 Penn State, and then I can't remember what year it was, but it was Chicago went 10-0 in their first year in the Big Ten as well. That's like 1910, University of Chicago. Those two teams coached by Joe Paterno and Amos Alonzo Stagg.
I thought you were going to say they were both coached by Joe Paterno.
No, yeah, right? You guys know about Amos Alonzo Stagg? Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, but I am familiar with the name, but I could not go deep in on the biography.
Dude, this guy, I'm going to read you a list of things that he is credited for in the game of football, his innovations. Okay? The reverse play, the first indoor football game, first book with football diagrams. That would be called a playbook. He invented the playbook. He had the first intersectional game, so non-conference game.
I like intersectional better.
He created the center snap, the onside kick, the huddle, the quick snap or the quick punt, the spiral snap, the line shift, the lateral pass, the tackling dummy, the varsity letter for when you play on a team and you get a varsity letter, the first person to put numbers on a uniform.
You know, this tells me this guy did a lot of drugs.
The T formation, the forward pass, the man in motion, the quarterback keeper, buck sweep, thigh pads, hip pads, padded goalposts. He's the guy that said, you know what, we should probably put some padding on that thing.
Where's the fun in that?
So people quit dying when they run into that metal.
So much more fun, though.
And the numbering of plays.
So he invented football as we know it.
Yep, that would be it, Bob.
Yeah.
That would be it, Bob.
A lot of drugs. You know,
Yeah.
what do they call what's the stuff they used to take in the West? Laudanum?
Yeah.
It feels like he probably had a lot of that.
I would say so.
Like
I would say so.
Like, if you ever tried it...
Is that what got Wyatt Earp's wife back in the day?
Yeah. It's opium-based, if I remember right?
Sure, I'm guessing it's probably something pretty heavy.
Yeah,
yes.
if I remember right, it's opium-based. But, like, if you ever tried to explain American football to somebody who has no idea how American football works...
Yeah, you can blame Amos Alonzo Stagg for that.
And again...
Why is it so confusing?
A lot of drugs necessary to be like, yeah, but it's football played with your hands, and the ball's oblong. It's like you just start going down the things like
just don't worry about
nonsensical,
it. Yeah.
And you just start to realize, when we were talking about cocaine as a medical substance, and opium as like a medical substance where you just drank it straight out of a bottle, probably led to some stuff. Which, I mean, again, that time period gave us football, gave us basketball, gave us baseball.
Sure.
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, all those drugs.
Mild coincidence, perhaps? Mild coincidence?
I think not. But yeah, pretty rarefied air right there. And then Oregon became the second team in Big Ten history to beat Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State in the same season.
Sorry, just one quick flashback to the old Amos Alonzo Stagg there.
Yeah.
He invented the center snap. How are they snapping before?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
Unbalanced?
I mean,
I don't know. Like flag football where they're kind of like
snapping it
turning.
by the wide receiver, but that was also before the forward pass.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Right.
He was quite the guy, though. Also in that, they became the first team ever because the only other team to beat the big three of the Big Ten was Michigan State in 2015. So you add Michigan State to that. They're the only team to beat all of those schools in the same year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no.
When you think of that,
it is a hell of a everybody knows where I stand in Oregon. this was a hell of a year for the Ducks. A hell of a year for the Ducks. And by every measure, it's been fantastic. Do not gack on this.
Oh, wow.
Do not. Please. You know what I said to you off air last week. Go handle business. Go win a freaking title. Go do it. You have an opportunity.
Yeah.
It doesn't, if they don't win a title, it doesn't disqualify what this season has been. This season has been
pretty damn impressive.
Impressive as hell. And adding the additional games of the CFP is going to be an interesting test, not just for Oregon, but for everybody. The variance that allows for is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Arizona State could end up winning a national title.
They very well could.
Like, that's how insane this is, okay? Very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely. But the New York Giants went from a wild card and knocked off the undefeated best team in NFL.
Yeah, they sure could, Bob.
My point being, this has been a historic year for them so far. They have a chance to have this be an absolutely perfect year.
Yeah.
And you handle everything that's in front of you every step of the way. And I think what we'll talk about a little bit later, Lanning and Tez Johnson going into the fourth quarter, some of the coolest things I think I've heard coming out of this all season.